Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I have stuff to share. I'm starting new projects for my larger portfolio classes this year, and I'm really excited to talk more about them. One project is a revamp of an older world-building endeavor I tried to do last summer in 2025, which I quickly burned out on. And the other is making a mock-up of a fashion-based website with my own original character. Maybe some animation may be a part of that. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Before I yap too much, the goal of this video is to help you to structure creativity by learning how to do two very important things: managing scope and pivoting your ideas. In my first week of classes, I almost went out with the sheer size of my projects in my head before shrinking them down to be more manageable for me to do. I know it's fun to let our minds and mediums run wild, but growth, learning, and improvement in art come from focusing in and knowing what we're targeting. With that, on to my larger portfolio project, Astraria's Heart. Now, originally, Astraria's Heart was a world-building attempt so I could focus on designing characters and filling out a nice portfolio. The main focus of this world was a jaded male courier rabbit named Sage that was going to be its hero from corrupt people that descended from the world's gods that lived in the clouds above Astraria, the land where the project would take place. I designed Sage, their co-workers, cafe owners. I made a map of Astraria. I made the logo, and I designed some environmental stuff too for at least one area. But I got overwhelmed about how much of that I'd be doing for all the characters and areas that I had plotted out. So I scrapped it and put it on pause. I didn't like the quality of the art that I made for it at a certain point either, and I just wanted to leave the concept alone going forward. But knowing I had a portfolio class coming up, I decided to revisit the concept as a means to rebuild it and better structure how I tackle it. The concept is the same, except now it's Sage against a new corporation called Void Co. and their head, Mr. Void, a coyote who descends from the Mobius strip. It's still the land above Sharia and, staying in line with the intentions of the original idea. He wants to make Asharians respect those who live in the Mobius strip as if they were the deities they had descended from. But the main character, Sage, now basically accidentally intercepted that plan by taking an important piece of it, the anklet that they are now designed with. It's now become a bit of a game concept that will take inspiration from 2D Sonic likes like Freedom Planet and actual 2D Sonic games, and some 2D fan Sonic games as well, like Sonic Rush or Sonic vs. Darkness and the like. Design for the characters design inspirations for all the characters comes from all listed here, and the game Haste. Now, all of that probably sounds really, really cool, and it is, but I almost got overwhelmed again while planning. I wanted to draw all these playable characters, give the main villain henchmen, and somehow do turnarounds and prop decorations for all of them, and I felt insanely stressed. And again, this is just within the first week. After some discussions with my professor, imploring me to try to make an actual small demo for this in Godot, I realized that if I would go for it, the concept was going to have to be a lot smaller. So, as far as managing scope goes, make a plan for what you want to do with the characters and world that you're building and keep it small. I designed only Sage and Mr. Void to get a visual feel for what the dichotomy of Sage's good against Mr. Void's evil should feel like, and then what the latter's forces should, be designed around. Plans to actually make assets for our first level will come after I've experimented a little in Godot and have come to figure out how it works enough to be able to do so. If you get too caught up in how big you want something to be, if the middle tool doesn't exhaust you, the actual work will, and when time isn't always on your side, that isn't necessarily the best thing you should be doing. Make sure your work is targeted so you know what you have to do and can set reasonable expectations for when it gets done and how to do it. Now, as for pivoting ideas, this concept for a second portfolio class that I have is more of an original thing. I'm currently working on a mock fashion brand called Astral Graphics. It would have its own website, its own mascot, mock-ups of physical products, maybe some animation to boot. I may also consider more environmental drawing so I can draw models somewhere looking cool in the clothes that I'd be designing for this. Now, when brainstorming on how I wanted to tackle this one, I originally wanted to create 3 model characters that be used to model the clothes and would be the face of the brand. Then I tried to draw them out, and the same thing with Australia's Heart happened. My brain gave out. Trying to figure out all these different and deep character personalities and body types and the like, that weren't always relevant to the concept I was trying to do was distracting, so I limited scope, like with my Australia's Heart rebrand. But I also pivoted the idea. What if instead of 3 models, there was one, but the one model could change their body shape to anything as to show the flexibility and accessibility of the fake clothing? I like that and decided to even throw in a little bit of Y2K for to go aero aesthetics. Wouldn't really hurt anyone, right? And so then Template, my model for the project, was born. Say hello to them. Furthermore on these like idea pivots, originally Astral Graphics would have been called Stellar Graphics, but A, I got my space terms mixed up and kept saying Astral when I meant Stellar, and B, didn't really notice the mix up as I was designing assets. It was fine though, especially since both can still be a complementing adjective that speaks to the wide reach the clothes would have in fit and design. Changing things when you have a better or more interesting idea come up is never usually a bad thing. Sometimes it can lead you to considering things you usually wouldn't, or exploring a concept in another direction you might like more. Keep in mind, you should really have a plan for scope for this to be effective. Chasing all these ideas is how you can lose your mind in the first place, but having a structured plan can help put it all in perspective. Sometimes you just have to scrap things though. But yeah, that's really it for the projects that I've been working on in school lately. If I had like any more advices or any more to say that I feel related to the theme of this video, I would recommend individuals to slow down and to take their time, especially if you have like a lot of big things and big projects to look forward to in your classes, be you in college, high school, or whatever. It can be tempting to either want to do everything at once and be super duper ambitious and try to just, go further than what you really actually can. But it's okay sometimes to just try to take it week by week, day by day, and see what you can realistically get done. That might be better for you in the long term than just trying to run or rush into something big that might fall apart because it's a bit too big for you. But yeah, that is it for this video. It was nice to yap a little bit about what I've got going on in my day-to-day as of right now. So turning the question to you all, what are some projects y'all are working on right now? Is there anything you have to walk back or rethink the scope on? Let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe and all of that jazz, But yeah, that is it. So have a lovely morning, afternoon, or night, and goodbye.